Hello. Hey, I'm going to hold off to introduce myself just for a few, to wait for some people to kind of show up because there is tons and tons of information that's going to be in this one. So let's give it a minute. I hope all you guys are doing awesome. I'm going to give it a minute and see if anybody pops up. So come on, peeps. Nobody yet. I'm actually on time too. Doesn't always happen. Okay, I'm going to start anyway, and I'm going to hope that everybody starts to show up because there is tons of stuff that we're going to chat about. So I'm Dr. Hess from pdmom.com, and today I decided to do a review and just some information on an app that's called Liveme. Sometimes it's written live, live.me. I have a long list of apps that I'm going to be reviewing for both the website and for this Facebook page and Instagram. As a matter of fact, let me just kind of show you, and this is only one of the lists, so this is my ongoing list. And Liveme was on there, but it was kind of towards the bottom of my list. And that was because at the time I hadn't really heard of it, so I figured, oh, well, I'm going to do these other apps first, the ones that kind of seem really big and really popular, Snapchat, Instagram, a few other ones. And this one very quickly jumped up to the top of my list because of a recent news story. And so what the deal is with Liveme is it is a live broadcasting website or like a live streaming app where people can register and then just essentially just tape themselves doing whatever they happen to be doing. Most times it's just in the house. So, and it kind of works on the idea that just like with Instagram, people think they're going to get famous, kids think they're going to get famous, you're going to make friends, you're going to form these groups. And so that's kind of the general reason behind it, is more of the live streaming. And most of the stuff out there is actually saying that live streaming is becoming a bigger and bigger thing with respect to apps. So Liveme was actually developed in China, I think April 2016. And so with the short amount of time that it has been an app that's been available, it has grown tremendously. So already I think they're at about 96 million users and growing very quickly. Most of those users are kids and teens and young adults. The age range that they say is 13 to sign up, and that if you're less than 18, you have to have parent permission, which clearly is not going to happen. But from everything that I can see review-wise on this app and everything that I saw myself, a lot of the kids that are on this are definitely under 13. There's no doubt about that. And so just to back up a little bit too, the apps that I review, just so that you know for this one and for future apps that I review, I don't just look up the information about it and read other people's reviews and all that. I actually sign up for the app. I register, I make up an email, I register as a child depending on the app. I pick my age and my birth date according to the youngest sort of what that app can be. And then I use the app just the way that any of our kids would use the app. And so this one in particular, and I'm going to show you a couple of pictures that I took as I was registering. So this one in particular, what you need to be able to register is you need either an email, or you can register using your Facebook page, or you can register using Instagram, or actually, and a phone number. So those are the ways that you can register. Now, keeping in mind that all of those ways to register, they allow there to be a link for information. So even if you're making up a username, even if you're making up all of the information, there's a link. Now, adults and older people kind of know that portion of it, and they will try to do what they can to not have that link be there, but most kids don't understand that. And so they use their regular email, they use their regular Facebook page, they use all that regular stuff, not realizing that if people are really wanting to kind of track them down, that they can find that. So, so you register, you put in either the email, Facebook, Instagram, or phone number. And then one of the first things that comes up, and it's super quick that it comes up, I'm going to show you. It asks you, it asks you if you're willing to give your location. Now, most kids, believe it or not, will hit allow. And the reason that they hit allow is because this app, along with a lot of other apps, have features that allow them to find people who are using the app that are around them. So obviously that's crazy dangerous. And most kids just don't understand that because their friends are in their area, obviously. Their friends are the ones that they're going to want to start talking to before they start gaining all these other friends. And so they'll allow that so that they can connect with those people. The next part that comes up, and this is all after I put in a birth date, and I lied about my birthday. As a matter of fact, because the last app I did, I made myself 8. With this one, I accidentally made myself 8 as well, just habit-wise. And it just had me redo the birth date. It didn't even say you're too young, that kind of thing. So made up the birth date, went through, it asked about the location. The very next thing that it comes up to ask, and this is the second thing that's dangerous for kids, is find friends. So now the app has the location of the kid, and then of course they want to find their friends. So they click allow, and now it is linked to all the people in either their Facebook friends, if they have used Facebook or Instagram, and then all of those followers too. So it's like a big tree, and all these people kind of all of a sudden can find this person. So that's the beginning portion of what this app is and how you kind of get in. Now, bear with me when I tell you about this app because it's horrific. And I have actually had a really hard time kind of researching this app and looking through it and trying to see what the kids are seeing, see what the creepers are seeing, and there are so many creepers. So I'm going to try and be focused about this, but honestly, I'm so emotional about it and so angry and so just frustrated that our kids have this, that I might get a little out of control. So that being said, because there's so much that I'm going to start saying and things that I'm going to throw out there about this app, feel free to ask questions in the middle of it. I'm going to keep watching the side. Hi guys, hi everybody that's joining. Thank you for coming. So feel free to ask questions as I throw this stuff out there because there's tons of stuff. I'm going to show some pictures. And oh my gosh. And then by the end, I'm going to tell you the kind of day I had, which required the police and all of that kind of stuff. So, all right. So the reason kids like this app, like I said earlier, not only are the live streaming apps becoming more popular because people get to know each other and they become friends and all that kind of stuff, but it goes a long way with getting the likes and getting kind of seen. And what I saw in there was a lot of girls who actually used the word "I'm getting famous" by the numbers of likes that they were getting up. Now, so in addition to that live streaming that you have, which is super popular with kids, this app is interesting in that it pulls in all the other stuff that just hooks kids in. So it's got the likes, so you can put like hearts and you can like and give a thumbs up, and you can give this all these things that kind of come up. I'm going to show you a very quick picture so you can see what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to speak specifically about these pictures. But so this is one of the live streams. Down here is where people can just randomly type in, and say whatever they want. Obviously, none of their names are their correct names, but this is anybody in the world that is seeing this girl right here. Anybody in the world is seeing them, and they're typing whatever they want. So they can type things, they can hit down here, you can give all little presents and hearts and diamonds. And interestingly, this particular app, as you give certain gifts and certain likes and certain hearts, you can actually get currency from it. So they can actually make money. It's insane. I'm not going to go into the details about all of the little gaming portion behind it because it doesn't matter. The overall point that matters about that is that kids are loving games right now. So this takes the portion of the I want to be famous, I want to be on TV, I want to be doing a video, and I want everybody to like me and give me the hearts and tell me I'm beautiful. And then in addition to that, it's got all the gaming stuff. Because some of these things that people can send you through here, through this app, and the fact that you can actually change it to money, that that's totally scary. So here's these girls that have these creepers that are kind of telling them to do stuff, and you do this for me and I'll give you these coins. Do this for me, I'll give you these, and they accumulate, and now you've made money. And these girls are like, oh wow, now I'm making money, and all I have to do is lift up my shirt, or all I have to do is this. So it kind of has that hook in it too, which is terrifying, and I totally saw it so much on there. Okay, the other things that it pulls in, so we talked about the video, we talked about the gaming portion, the likes, the gifts, the comments, which a lot of kids are liking right now to get all of the comments about how beautiful you are, how great you can sing, all of this kind of stuff. It also incorporates hashtags, so you can kind of follow everybody that has things that you like. So that's a big deal right now. So it pulls that portion in too. It filters. Oh, that's the other one. Sorry. Every once in a while I have to look at my notes because there's just so much. It incorporates filters too from Snapchat. So the hashtags are kind of like Twitter. The filters are like Snapchat. The live feed is new-ish, although it is in some things like Facebook, and you can do live stuff on Instagram now. But this particular app sort of takes all the cool stuff and pulls it together in one app, which essentially is like the playground for kids these days with respect to apps. And a playground for kids and apps, especially with live streaming, is a playground for pedophiles. And they are swarming in this app, swarming. They're everywhere. So, oh my gosh, see, I'm getting myself all worked up, and I'm like, where do I go from here? So those are why a lot of the kids go in there. And so what I've been doing once I registered was go in and I would, look a little bit at everything. Look at a little bit of the older people to see what they were doing, like older, and I don't mean old, although there are some totally, oops, sorry, something popped up. Let me get rid of that. There are some totally old creepers on there, and they're pretty open about how creepy they are. But I go into all the younger ones and see the types of stuff that they're filming and the types of stuff that they're live streaming. Let me see if you guys, hey, thanks, Teresa, for saying that. Oh my gosh, totally hard to see some of these videos, which is why, and this is Janice Switch just said that it must be hard to see those videos. And it is. And one of them actually led to a call today for me. I had to call the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and I called the local police department here. So there's horrible stuff on there, but let me back up a little bit. So what's so crazy about this is these kids are getting on there and they're doing these live streaming videos wherever they are in their rooms, and they possibly have their location in there because they didn't click the no button. They have a lie. Their age is a lie. I saw kids that looked honestly down to about 7-ish, one of which had a sibling with her. She looked about maybe 7. The sibling was maybe about 4, and both of them were performing on this thing. And so they're in their room, in their house, and people can see things in the background. They can see books. They can see maybe something that's got an address on it. They can see out the window to see, maybe in general area of where you are, that kind of stuff. And kids aren't recognizing this. So the kids are on there. What I'm seeing is a lot of people are starting to message them. And it starts off very, very innocent. And people will message them saying, hey, you're so beautiful. Can I see you dance? Or why don't you turn on some music and let me see you dance? And then the kids get up and then they give them some hearts. They give them some of the presents. They do all that stuff. And then it gets more in depth. So it is literally a virtual grooming process of a child that you will sit there and watch on this app. And the kids have no idea. They're excited about the attention. The majority of the girls, the young girls that I saw and that I watched, they would sit there and in the middle of the entire thing, they would say, I have 1,000 people are watching me right now and I have this many likes. And then they would start to bargain with them. Well, I'll do this once I get to 2,000 likes. Or I'll do that once I get to this many hearts. Or if somebody gives me a castle, which is one of the prizes, one of the presents, then I'll do this. And then the guys start to feed off that too. And it's terrifying to watch. There's a lot of, and actually let me show you some of the pictures here so you can get an idea. So this is one of them. I obviously blacked everything out. And it is not to show the kids at all, obviously, but it is to show you the things that they are saying. So here's one that says, we can see your chest open, but but it's a question. So they're asking to see her chest. Here's another one, and I'm not even going to say this out loud. This is one that had several kids in it in the video. And they numbered themselves so that people watching the video would know, could make comments about number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And this is so hard to do it this way. This is what they said. So I hope you can see that end part right here. Specifically with girl number 3 is what that man wanted to do. Here's another one, that same group of girls. Can you open your legs, please, please, please? And it just got worse from there. And there are actually girls who are doing this. It's mind-boggling. And in so many of them, I saw the parents actually come into the room. What are you guys doing? Oh, nothing, just playing on my phone. And then they leave. Some of the girls, and I mainly looked at girls, although there were definitely men too. Some of them would quick hide their phone when their parent came in the room. And this is why it's so important for parents to know about these apps and stuff, to talk about it and ask about it, because if they seem like they're playing with their phone too much, okay, well, what are you doing? Let me see. Because if you don't know it exists, you can't talk to them about it. There was one particular girl on there that clearly had not been on it. She was very young. And I started to, another portion of it. See, I'm all over. And I apologize for the scatteredness of this particular app. I'm going to do my best to not make them like this next time. But this is so emotionally charging for me that my brain cannot stop after the day that I've had with respect to this. So the app also has the ability to private message back and forth. And anybody can private message any kid, any person. So you don't have to accept the private message. You just have to read it. And then you can go and talk privately and nobody sees this. So that is another thing that I'm seeing a lot of, is people say, oh, it's an emergency. I just private message you. Can you check them? And then right there on the live screen, you can see them checking it. And you can see that they're making faces that either it's something crazy or not. But that's where they're going to start asking the detailed questions, because Liveme says that they have moderators. And granted, I actually did see some in there saying, you look too young to be here. We need an administrator in here, and don't do what they're saying, as did I. I kind responded in all of them as well. But there's just no way with this many people that human moderators can watch every single one of these. They do apparently have artificial intelligence within it that gets triggered by certain words, but this is how sneaky these people are. So challenge is apparently a word that gets flagged because in these kinds of apps, people say to the kids, I challenge you to do this, even little things. I challenge you to do a headstand, so that when they do the headstand, their shirt comes up. And so challenged is a flagged word. And so instead of challenge, they type challenge with an SH so that it doesn't get flagged. There was another little girl that was in there, and this creep was asking to see her breasts. And it took a minute for this girl because she was so young. She's reading the requests of the people, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know what that means. What is that?" Because they put BUBIES, BUBIES, and then underneath that, because she was confused, he said it's just a different way to spell it because that's a banned word. And so these people are asking these kids to do all of these things still just by switching the words so that they don't get flagged. It is horrific. So there was one girl, like I said, who was seemed to be very new on this, did not know. I started to message her on the public part, and I said, if you're comfortable, we can message within the private messaging. And she asked within the private messaging, why are you being so nice to me? I explained because not only are men asking them to do this, if they say no, they're terribly mean. And so we had a long discussion on the private message portion. I explained to her about what kind of men were in there, why they were asking her to do those things that they were asking her. I explained all of the outcomes of this and how it can be used. And thankfully, she actually ended up saying, this is until 3 o'clock in the morning. This girl was up with her parents sleeping. Although I say that, but I don't know where in the country she was at the time. But regardless, she ended up saying that she was going to delete it and that she didn't know that that's what it was about. So that was a win on my part. But there's a gazillion other kids that I can't necessarily get to, and that's why I need to get to the parents. So you guys need to help me get to the parents. So another huge concern about all of this is that there have been some accounts of pedophiles recording them asking these children to do things. And so when they do lift their shirts or pull down their pants or do the different things, they record them, because you can screenshot anything on this app. You can record an entire session, an entire live stream on this app. So they are recording them, and then they are putting them up on child porn sites. And on these child porn sites, and this has been proven where, I mean, if you do some Google searches on it, it'll come up about how they've done these new stories on it and how the FBI is like investigating and all that. On these child porn sites, they are labeling these as live streaming children. Child does not know this is being recorded, because to them that is more exciting when the child has no idea. Before I tell you that last story, oh my gosh, there's just so much, you guys. There's so much horrificness in this app, and I didn't even know about it, and this is what I'm doing now, like almost full time. This is what I'm doing, and I didn't even know. It's horrible. So what Liveme is starting to put out there right now is that they are becoming aware of this particular issue. How they're just becoming aware of this is beyond me. And that they've put all of these human moderators. I think it was maybe a couple of hundred moderators that they put, but there's, like I said, 96 million downloads for this particular app. I'm just going to scroll down so I can make sure I'm not missing or any questions or anything. That is not enough. And that was actually reactionary, because one of the news stations did a story on this and kind of did what I did, where they went in and started to look at all these videos and came up with horrific stuff, just like I'm telling you. And as a result, Liveme started to go in and really actually look at the kids and are they really that age and do they really have parent permission, which is nearly impossible. And apparently they deleted about 600,000 accounts. So if they were able to know and find out about 600,000 accounts that should not have been there, that were of children that were not of age, how many are they missing? A ton. Way too many. And so even now, and that was 2 months ago, I believe, that the investigation started, and they took those down, and it's still clearly happening because I saw a ton just myself, and I'm one person. What was the other thing I was just gonna say? Oh my gosh, I'm so worked up over this. It's terrible. You guys we need together to start learning about all of these apps. What are you guys saying up there, just to make sure that I can answer all of your stuff? It is understandably messed up. Absolutely it is. Kids need to be more educated on the dangers of all social media. That is absolutely true. But how are the kids going to be more educated about it if the parents aren't educated about it? Somebody needs to take the initiative, and I think the parents need to, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, the kids need to know about it too, but I feel like as parents, there's so much to know, we can't know it all. So that's what I'm here for, to help parents know all the stuff that they need to start bringing up the conversation, because there's just way too much for any one parent to know, because I'm having trouble keeping up, and this is what I'm doing. So for people who aren't doing this, it's almost impossible to do that. So that's my goal. But yes, you're right. And then, okay, awesome. Oh gosh. Okay. So there I did, in fact, see a child who was being requested by many people in the comment section, and being given lots of gifts and coins and all those things. Tons of them requesting her to do sexually explicit things, and she complied. And she was clearly hiding in a particular area. You could see that she was kind of under stuff. And that ended up prompting a call for me, because that's not something that anybody can let slide. But this is somebody who had streamed before, so it wasn't her first, because some of these streams can actually be saved, so you can go back and look at those previous ones. So this wasn't caught previously, and so if this is just one child, and she was very young, if this is just one child, how many aren't being seen? How many of these live streams in the middle of the night, which is usually when the kids are doing it because the parents are sleeping, how many aren't being seen? And there were so many men, I'm assuming men, not that there can't be a female pedophile, because there can, but it's usually men. There were so many of them on there that it was absolutely sickening. So here is some take-home points for this. Talk to your kids about what they're doing on their phone. Talk to them about the different apps. Even if you don't know the details about the apps, look up just the names of them. Look on their phones. Make sure you have the password for their phones. If you see any apps that are questionable, you look into that app. You open it up. If you can't because there's a password, you have the password, or they don't have the app. And now this one particular, though, Liveme, no child should have, in my personal opinion. There's absolutely nothing good that can come out of a child being able to live stream themselves doing anything, anywhere, at any time. Nobody needs to see them do that. If they want to do videos of some kind, they can do them, record them, have their parents see them, post them on YouTube. And I'll be doing YouTube as well, because there's huge issues with that as well. But at least then it's controlled. The parents seeing what they do. There's nobody interacting with them. There's no chatting. There's none of that. And because that's part of the, oh my gosh, it's such a horrific app. Please start talking about it and making sure that the people that you know about it. So talk to them, look at the apps, no passwords. Do not let the kids have computers or phones in their rooms. I know so many parents who will say, yes, they do have a computer or they do keep their phone or their tablet in their room, but they know they're supposed to turn it off at 11 o'clock or whatever. And we all know that that doesn't happen. And so somebody I know actually had said something which was really interesting. It's a little on the kind of graphic and dramatic side, but not so far off. When that was a response that a parent gave him about, yes, but my son or daughter doesn't turn it on or use it after 11 p.m., he said, oh, okay, so would you be comfortable with letting a pedophile in your daughter's room and just saying, oh, just don't touch her after 11 p.m.? Because these live apps, if the kids are using them, are letting these people into their lives and into their homes. It's essentially letting them get to know your child, and young children don't get that. They get the admiration, they get the likes, they love the likes, they love the feeling of being famous, but they don't understand everything that's behind it. There is a reporting system within the app. I will give them that. It was not terribly difficult to report. I have not heard anything back from them about the things that I reported, and I reported everything. You can report individual people that are commenting for inappropriate comments, and you can report the actual person who is the broadcaster, either for doing inappropriate stuff on their broadcast, or if they just seem young, that they shouldn't be there. One of the things that I forgot to mention is the other things that they can see on there, and the other things that I did see on there, lots of drug use. And I didn't even focus on the profiles that looked older. Occasionally I went into them, but not much. So even with the few that I did, I saw lots of drug use on there. An insane amount of profanity, obviously. That was just everywhere. Racism, the span of everything. I saw adults with children in the room doing very inappropriate things without a care in the world that the kid was in the room. And these are the things that kids are seeing. So even outside of them being the broadcaster, they can click on any single one of these. And I'm going to show you what did I do with my phone. They can click on any one of these profiles and watch people doing the things that they're doing in their home. And if that is smoking marijuana, snorting cocaine, getting undressed, all of these things, your kid can just click on it, go into that person's bedroom or living room and watch them do it and learn how to do it themselves. So to give you an idea, and I'm going to do this super quick so that you can't necessarily see all of the profile names and everything, but this is kind of what it looks like. And you scroll up, you can just click on any of these. And they can immediately, with one finger click, be in the room of anybody. The old creeper might have something on there that looks really interesting, like you can make yourself look like a little dog, you can do all these things, and that kid looks at that and says, oh hey, that looks pretty cool, click on it. There are also some where the profile pictures are completely not the person who's in the broadcast. So you look at this picture, you click on it, you think it's one thing, and poof, all of a sudden, you're in a totally different situation with a totally different person and not who you thought it was from the picture on the profile. That was a lot. Again, I apologize for the scatteredness of it. All of that last story with the phone calls and having to talk to the police, that all happened today, actually not very long ago. So it's been an emotional day with respect to this, and I'm angry and I'm sad and I'm frustrated, and I want to change this stuff. And I need you guys to help me educate everybody. So I need you guys to share this stuff, to talk about this stuff, to ask questions of me, of anybody that you can ask questions about who might have the information. You can post questions or message me with questions. And if I don't know the answer at that moment, which may very well be the case a good portion of the time, because there's so much out there to learn, if I don't know the answer at that point, I will find somebody who does know the answer, and I will get the answer to you, because that old school saying of how it takes a village means more today than it has ever meant, because there is no way that we can protect our kids with the stuff that is out there right now without becoming a village. We need to be a village. We need to learn, educate ourselves. We need to help empower each other, empower our kids, educate our kids, let them know the dangers behind it without necessarily taking away the idea that it is part of their life and upbringing. So that's an important kind of concept to get out there too. This is part of their life, right? All of these apps, the internet, social media, all of that stuff, this is part of their life right now. And we can't just say, don't do it, because there is actually good parts of it. There are useful parts of social media, the internet, and all of that. And we just can't deny it because it's there. So let them know that you know that, but also educate them on the huge, huge risks that are out there. The one thing that I mentioned to the girl that I was private messaging within this app was that her videos could be taped and posted in other places. She had no idea that was even a thing. I mentioned that people might be able to see this for years to come. If she applies to a job, if she applies to college, that they might be able to see this. They might be able to see anything that she does. She also had no idea of that. If we don't talk about it, they're not going to know. So that is the end of this, because Lordy, I need sleep. So make sure that you guys are sharing and liking and bringing people over to the site. The website should be launching this week, which is super exciting. We have lots of cool stories and cool pieces of writing and informative stuff from professionals, from parents, from kids themselves, some of the most amazing stories from kids themselves. If you guys do know some kids that want to share stories about anything child safety related, these apps, social media stuff, being bullied, cyberbullying, depression, self-harming, anything that they might have either an experience of or an opinion of, because even opinions are great for us to learn. Because here's the other thing that I've been learning with looking in these apps. We all think we know. We think we know, oh, they're so bad. Why are kids doing this? Kids are so non-intelligent. I'm trying to be very PC about it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we think we know. And then I go into these apps and I'm seeing what the kids are saying and how they're acting. And even sometimes when I interact with them about it at that moment in time, I learned so much. I learned things that I never would have thought. Like, if somebody had asked me what that child was thinking at that exact moment when they were doing something that we're looking at it and saying that's a stupid thing to do, when I asked them why at that moment, it's like a light bulb goes off, because nobody can explain it like they can. Nobody can get us to understand why they're doing the things that they do, or what they think or don't think, what they know or don't know. Nobody can explain that better than them. So that's why the Kids Speak section on the website is going to be the biggest part of the website. I need to hear from them. We all need to hear from them. We need to learn from them. we need to learn, we need their portion of their piece of the puzzle to help keep them safe. We need their piece of the puzzle to complete the village. So get those stories in. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me. If you happen to know me personally, you're welcome to call, text, or do it on my regular Facebook page, Instagram, or on the PD Mom group page. You can message me there always. I'm sure I left a ton of stuff out on the Liveme. I am going to write it all out for the website, so it will be an actual written piece of information as well. But absolutely go and Google it so that you can see some of the stories that are out there. So you can, in addition to just my experience, you can see other parents' experiences with it, and hear about the different investigations that they're doing. That's super important. But again, how would we know to look it up if we didn't even know that this app existed, right? So go ahead and do that, and let me know what you thought of them on the group page. And if you come up with any other information, anything, news stories, anything that's happened to you, anything that you want me to cover or look at or find somebody who has information on, make sure you let me know. Okay. Thank you for coming and listening. Thank you for wanting to be part of the village, because we need all of the people we can get. Have a good night.